Bang & Olufsen owners, I'm sorry, I owe you an apology. If you're one of the many people who has asked me in recent years whether you can add extra speakers to Beosound Stage, I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong answer. I told you it wasn't possible. It is. You can add extra speakers to Beosound Stage, and you can use it as part of a full surround sound system with Dolby Atmos if you want to. So I'm sorry I got this wrong until now. This video is my public apology. I'm going to set the record straight and explain exactly how this is possible. Please come and join me. If you're new to the channel, I'm Steve from soundsheavenly.com. My day job is making cables that connect Bang & Olufsen products like this brilliant Beosound Stage soundbar, and also finding answers to problems to help people get the best from their B&O products. So what's the issue here? Why is it that until now this Beosound Stage has been a standalone soundbar only? The answer lies in the fact that it is also, as well as being a TV soundbar, is a very capable multi-room music streamer. And that brings some complications. It means that in order to do the streaming and balance sound between different rooms, B&O have had to put a latency or an audio delay of just over 50 milliseconds into the line input of this speaker. And that means if you were to connect other speakers like these Beolab 3000s on the wall behind me, then the other speakers would play first, and a fraction of a second later, 0.05 seconds later, the stage would play. And that echo repeat doesn't sound like much, but it's enough to really become noticeable. And that's not what we want here in a high quality system. Additionally, because this has a volume control that you would normally access from your phone via the B&O app, it means that the extra electronics can get quite noisy inside. If this is turned up to maximum to match the volume of these Beolab speakers that don't have a volume control and effectively are always at 100% volume, they rely on the connected device, in this case the television, to adjust their volume, whereas the stage can do its own adjustment. And this gives us a mismatch. Now, all these things considered, we've got some complications. The answer is actually surprisingly simple. It's a small delay box. This allows us to dial in that 50 milliseconds to the rear speakers that we're going to add, so that they play the sound at the same time as the stage. Additionally, this has a volume adjuster which allows us to bring down the back speaker volume so that it now matches the volume controlled level on the stage. What we're doing here is a tried and tested technique that sound engineers refer to as gain staging. What we do is we look at the signal path for the sound from the TV out to the speakers. We make sure that that signal is as loud and clear as possible at every point through the chain from product to product, and then bring it down to the right level at the end of the chain. And in doing that, we minimise any interference or noise, and we keep the sound as clean and clear as possible. Now, it's worth mentioning here there are two connection scenarios that we're going to be looking at. The first one is if your television has a headphone socket. This is the simple option. What we'll be doing is connecting the stage and this delay box into the TV headphone socket, from the delay box out some extra speakers like these Beolab 3000s. Nice and simple. We'll get stereo sound through all the speakers, but in an enveloping, immersive way. The second, more full-fat option is that you can add an AV receiver with pre-out sockets, something like the Marantz Cinema 70S, for example. And that way you don't need a TV with a headphone socket. Any TV or projector will do, and you can have full surround sound, even with Dolby Atmos if you need. You can add as many speakers as you want, and for each stereo pair of speakers we'll add a delay box. So if we look at the simpler setup here, TV with a headphone socket to the stage plus a pair of stereo speakers, what we'll be doing is we'll be on a typical TV. You might have noticed you might have a volume range from 0 to 100, and you probably use 5, 10, 15 out of 100 as your typical listening level. That's not what we're going to do here. What we want to get to is a situation where you typically are listening at 70, 80, 90% headphone volume level on the TV. Bear in mind the TV speakers are not going to be playing. We're going to bring that strong clear signal out to the stage and let you use the stage volume to bring that level down. And then in the delay box for the rear speakers, we're going to dial that volume down. Now, even though we're doing something that technically wouldn't be my first choice, we're taking the TV headphone output, splitting it at the delay box and sending it out to the rear speakers and the stage. That actually isn't a problem because the gain staging means that we can keep the best possible signal strength with minimum noise or interference and get a good clean signal to the speakers. So for this setup, we're going to get stereo sound. The stage will play its left and right drivers and then it digitally rebuilds the center image and plays it through the center driver. The rear speakers will play that same stereo sound, and this is the way that the Beovision 7 TVs used to work back in the 90s and early 2000s. For any old school B&O fans, the speaker 4 option would give you 4 speaker stereo, really nice immersive sound. The other option we can do as well is adding in, as I mentioned, an AV receiver or processor, and this way we'll use a delay box for each pair of speakers, and the receiver will also then let you fine-tune the latency or delay for each pair of speakers. This box is really actually small, easy to hide and practical. It comes with a USB power cable so it can be powered from a spare USB socket on the television, and it also includes a UK and European mains power connection if needed. And then from there you can add either a stereo pair of rear speakers to the soundbar via the TV headphone socket, or a subwoofer, or subwoofer plus stereo speakers if you wish. There are so many options. You know what, let's just run through them quickly. I've had to make a crib sheet even though I do this every day. So the first cable option, twin RCAs, would let you connect, for example, Beolab Penta, Beolab 1, Beolab 5, right, which would need a B&O remote to switch them on, Beolab 17, 18, Beolab 19 subwoofer plus a couple of extra speakers, Beolab 20, Beolab 3000 as you see behind me, or the 4500 or 5000 versions, Beolab 4000 Mark 1 with the power button on the front, Beolab 6000 or 8000. Cable option 2, RCA to twin DIN connectors. They will work for a pair of Beolab 3, Beolab 9, Beolab 4000 Mark II without the power button, Beolab 6002 or 8002 without the line inputs. Option 3, twin RCA to twin mini jack. Sorry for rushing through, there's a lot of options. These will let you use Beolab 4, Beolab 4 PC, or also Beolit portable streaming radios, Beolit 12, 15, 17 or 20. There's also quite a lot of other smaller Bluetooth speakers B&O have produced that we could also use here. We have some special cases. I produce what I refer to as a trigger cable, which activates B&O speakers that were never intended to work without a Bang & Olufsen system connected. They now can, including Beolab 2, the subwoofer, plus 2 extra speakers of course, Beolab 7.1, 7.2, 7.6. I've left out 7.4 because it's a column centre speaker, so I don't think it's a good use case here, but still possible. Beolab 10, again centre speaker, maybe use that in the rear of the room, but who knows. And then special cables, which by all means ask and we'll sort them out for you. Beolab 11 subwoofer plus extra speakers, Beolab 12.1, 12.2 or 12.3 wall speakers, Beolab 14 2.1 channel version, the Beoplay S8 version of that, the Beolab 15 and 16 in wall and in ceiling speakers via an amplifier one, or Beolab 2500, which again use the trigger cable to activate them. Right, if you're still with me, I hope you've got the message that there is a myriad of options here, and that same list of speakers and cables can be used for multi-channel setups via an AV receiver. I've used this setup with these Beolab 3000s as well as with Beolab 4 PC speakers and my Beolab 8000s, and I've been really impressed with the results. I'll get everything listed on the website over the coming weeks, but just while we're doing that, typically 5 metre length of cables, the converter box, power supplies, and the full pack of cables to go to the TV headphone socket. Special cases, say BLAB 2 with the trigger cables we can work with. If you're doing an AV receiver setup, then probably look at budgeting that sort of amount for each stereo pair of speakers. If you're in the UK or Europe and you've got any questions about this, please get in touch at soundsheavenly.com and I'll be happy to help talk you through exactly what you need. Drop me a note in the comments and say what your perfect setup would be with Beosound Stage. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.